Hello, can you hear me? I see all the no sounds. Wow, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're picking it up. Uh, no sound, dude. Let me know. Let me know how it's going. This is always good. It's been a while. There we go. Okay, Frederick says we've got it. I'm going to start again because I have no idea what you saw or heard from the start of the stream there. Greetings. It's Entmoot Live. We're back after a bit of an absence because of basically what's been happening today. A big Middle-earth strategy battle game release day today. It's been an exciting one. Lots of people getting really into the announcements that have been happening today. And it's fair to say it's probably one of the biggest announces in a very long time. So just please, I can see some more people kicking off in the comments saying you can't hear me. Top table, let me know. I can see some people are saying yes. Oh yeah, there you go. Top table says I'm rusty, but right, okay, we're all fine. We're back to where we're going. So essentially, I decided to kick off the Entmoot live stream once more because not just for this big Middle-earth strategy battle game reveal that we've had today, but also because I'm planning to do quite a few in the coming months, particularly with the Rings of Power. I've got a whole series planned of live streams, so it'd be nice to get back on the live hobby horse reacting to stuff. So first of all, let's just wipe off all the stuff about not being able to hear or see me or laughing at my incompetence and stuff. Please let me know what you're in and kind of initial takes. What do you think of the latest announcements? Because I know there's been chatter on various different groups about do you love it, do you hate it? Some people do love it, some people absolutely disappointed by it and frustrated, and we'll get one of those people on the chat later on because I don't want to be one of those people who is accused of being a corporate shill or whatever it is, because I'm not. I like the game just as much as lots of people who I know. I play the tournament scene quite a bit, but it'd be nice to know from all the other people. So please drop in your comments below. Let me know you're in. What you're doing? Are you painting? Are you just digesting the goodness we've had this afternoon? Please do let me know what you thought of the announcements, and let's crack on with the stream because I'm going to obviously run through everything that we've all probably seen. I mean, there may be some of you who missed the big announcement this afternoon. It's 2:00 in the afternoon. Maybe you've got kids or you have plans today. You might not have been able to watch it as much as you'd have wanted to. But I'm going to run through everything and hopefully. And in fact, yes, someone Tim was at work harvesting wheat. So it's not everyone could have seen the thing, but hopefully we'll be able to give you a bit of a rundown. Pilot Azog is saying, where can I find the announcement? It's all on the Warhammer community page, but don't go there right now because I'm going to run through some of the stuff for you. So hopefully you get a good idea of everything that was included in the announcement today. And of course, if you missed anything, you can just read it while watching. So let's crack on. Essentially, the big news today was, as I predicted it on the Entmoot podcast. If you didn't hear that one, I put I hurried out a podcast while I was ill earlier this week, and basically said this is what's going to be included: an Osgiliath box set, Battle Host box sets, and new Faramir and some other stuff. I expected actually there to be a Frodo, Salmon, Gollum sort of model or plastic kit, which I think I'd kind of like, as much as it probably won't feature in games ever. It would be, I thought it would have been cool. Maybe we'll see a kit like that at some point. But generally, these are the things we saw announced today. So, you know what? I've realized that the one thing I haven't got an image of is the actual box set as a whole. But what we're going to get is this. We're going to get a Battle for Osgiliath box set. So you can see right there, we've got a new rules manual. But don't worry, it's not wiping the rules clean. It's just basically a rules manual that has all the FAQs and errata in it. So it's just kind of a reprint of what we've got already, which is fine. I mean, mine is looking a bit raggedy, so I'm not going to turn it down. But I guess it's more for new players, so they don't have to immediately print off sheets and sheets of FAQs and errata when they first want to go to a tournament, or worse, are told that something that they didn't know about as an FAQ is not allowed. So that's really cool. And the box set, Battle for Osgiliath, as I predicted, it's got a Faramir and a Gothmog on the front. We're excited. about the prospect of a new box set, I suppose. But disappointingly, it doesn't have any new plastic troops. I know lots of people were really, really keen for new plastic troops. In particular, I know there was a big hype around the idea of a Last Alliance box set. I've long thought that that's going to be linked into the Amazon channel, Amazon Rings of Power series. So I don't expect that now. Maybe next year if we're lucky. I've actually done a video or predicting all this sort of stuff, or what I thought anyway, would be included on the channel. So if you fancy a bit of a dig into that, then please do subscribe to the channel. Have a look around over there. So that's the first start. So we got the box set, which is cool. Obviously no new plastic troops, but new plastic heroes like this one. Oh, there's 3. I mean, Damrod, who gives a toss? Madril, it's pretty cool, actually. A really nice Madril. It actually looks like Madril, as opposed to the Madril we've got at the moment, which is a bit kind of flat-faced. I've always thought it's a bit dodge. And I like that he's wearing a sword. He's carrying a sword. He's got really lovely greaves on his arms there. And the injured head is really nice. So it really does reflect that moment in Osgiliath. But, of course, the man of the hour in the middle there, it's Faramir. And it's not just Faramir, it's Faramir leaning while running over a rock, or apparently you can turn it into logs if you so wish, which is cool. And the face is nice. I mean, the paint's a little bit, sort of hair's a little bit orange, I think, the paint job, but the face is not bad. It's looking pretty good. Actually, I think the Damrod face is much better, but the Faramir looks amazing. And it's nice to have a range of Faramir that isn't that really rubbish sort of, the pointy way he's doing this thing with his, but it's obviously designed to be flat and cheap back in the day. So it's nice to have a really dynamic plastic hero to lead the Rangers of Ithilien, which are included in the box set alongside Minas Tirith warriors, some orcs and a troll, and of course Gothmog with his melted face. And I mean, I think he's the 4th or 5th maybe Gothmog we've had. I know there's been 2 versions of him mounted, one in fine cast, one in metal, which is my favorite one. And then there's been like the Death of Gothmog kit, the sort of, I'm trying to think, see if I've got him within reach. I certainly don't have him within reach. But there's been quite a few Gothmogs. I mean, he is the leader, like the big baddie in the Siege of Gondor, I suppose. So it's nice to have him there. And the warg is really furry. That is some haunch on the top of that neck there on Gothmog's warg there. It looks a bit berry. It definitely looks like the same sculptor who's designed Bjorn and Grim Bjorn and the Bjorning folk, because that is some sweet, sweet tufty hair. I like it. So hopefully you're fans of all those. So that's the box set. I'll delve into what you guys think so far. I'll just scroll back up a little bit to where people started talking about the thing. Michael Haskell says he's eating tea right now. Pizza. Good man. Where can I find the announcement? That was Pilot Azog. Yeah, as I said, hopefully I'll delve into all of it, but it's all on Warhammer Community. Top Table Gaming, Steve, very happy man. Great to know GW are keen to entice new players with the starter armies. Awesome new minis for us old school players. Beautiful start box with great terrain kit and an up-to-date book. I didn't mention the terrain. I knew there was something else in the box set. The Ruin. I mean, we have got Osgiliath Ruins as it is, and it seems like they're going to be out of production now, which is cool. Because this ruin is pretty sweet. I mean, the detail there is really nice. I mean, you can't deny that that's a good bit of kit. I mean, that's all we've got as a picture so far. So it'd be nice to know how kind of modular it'll be and how you'll be able to build bigger things from it. Because I think I heard someone on the Twitch stream earlier, or sort of comment. I read a comment on the Twitch stream earlier saying something along the lines of, what is it with having corners of buildings in ruins? Which makes sense. It makes it easier to build, I suppose. But yeah, so that's cool. I really liked that. So there you go. That's all in the new box set. I will talk about the other releases in a bit. Core says this will make more people play. The mini army boxes are very cool, since it will be more easy to pick up an army in one shot. Also, since almost all warriors usually are web exclusive, this will be a 10 out of 10 for BEG. I guess that means BEG inners. Yeah. So this was the thing he's mentioning there. Battle hosts. So battle hosts being this idea that essentially you get a plastic hero and some troops. All existing plastics, essentially, including Elrond, which we'll come on to later. I think it's a nice idea. It's strange that they haven't had them thus far, but I guess there just haven't been very many comments. Comments? There are plenty of comments. There haven't been many of those guys yet, so there's some plastic heroes enough to justify box sets anyway. So let's see who else we got. Evening all, hi Richard Fitzgerald, that Glorfindel model, yeah, we'll get to that in a sec. Evening all, says Dale, can't stick around to Nathan, not sure what that means, but just stick around as long as you can. To be honest, Tim says they're not going to update a Warrior of Minas Tirith, just get some better third-party minis. Yeah, fair enough. I think I actually really like the Minas Tirith Warriors. When you get a new set of Minas Tirith Warriors, they still look good. I think people are tarred by their own sort of preconceptions, their own paint jobs, maybe. I don't know. But I like them. I think Minas Tirith are actually one of the few that don't really need an upgrade. The range is not great, though. Michael says, I think it might have helped if the two GW hosts had a third person tracking the chat and picking out useful questions for Adam to answer in the breaks, rather than just dive into the chat randomly. Yeah, you're totally right, Michael. There were something like 5,500 people watching, so inevitably that's difficult to keep track of when everyone's dropping a comment every so often, especially all the oohs and ahs. Fohammer says, Damrod is the best sculpt of those three, though. Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, it's just he's a crap hero, and you probably will very rarely have him in an army. But yeah, totally agree with that, Fohammer. I didn't like the models, to be honest, but it's still cool. Yeah, fair enough. I'm not sure which models they're referring to, but fair enough. Cool. Nathan says, can't stick around too much to do, but I'm really excited for the new stuff and see the variety of entry points and newbies is huge for the future. Established nerds need to remember they aren't alone. Yeah, fair enough, Nathan. Good point. Michael says, I think Madril's pose fits his ambush special rule. Not sure if that was deliberate or not. I'm sure it is. It does look like he's leading people on to battle, doesn't it? He's sort of saying, yeah, this way, come around this way, come around the back. Yeah, good point, Michael. I like it. What else we got? Foot Gothmog is class. Let's remind ourselves of what Foot Gothmog looks like. Yeah, I mean, the face, I think the face is quite wide. But I really do like the heft and the fact that that is clearly the moment where he's sort of dragging his arm around. He's chasing Airwin around. That's cool. I like that. I like that you can see that. Let's carry on. Tim says, let's hope you will mount on a White Walk chieftain. Time for a new Walk sculptor. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Fair enough. It's not it's not the first thing I thought of was that's a cool Gothmog, a cool warg. So such is life. Wild warg. Yeah, sorry, he means wild warg rather than white warg. Fair enough. Top Saber Gaming says back in 10 minutes, in-laws just turned up. How dare they on Middle Earth announcement day? What are they thinking? Looks cool, says Pilot Azog. I'm not sure which that referred to, but there you go. Andrew Cuthbert, Gothmog's warg resembles an angry Jack Russell Terrier. I like it. Fair enough. The Durin Show says he's welcome to Durin Show. Great podcast. I was going to say, which one are you? But it's Mitchell, it says. I'm very happy about it. I think it'll help grow the community a lot and bring in a lot of new players. A lot of people saying that. A lot of people do saying that. Yeah, Michael's pointing out they did do army boxes in the early days. As far as I remember, they had quite a few army boxes, but they were all like mixtures of metal and plastic. So it's interesting that they've scrapped the idea of putting metals and plastics into one box. Don't know why that idea's gone. What could be the harm? I don't really understand it. I think someone mentioned something about breaking things, but I don't know. I don't really get that because most of the metal miniatures are pretty resilient. So Sean Clark says, Sean says, I painted my first Gothmog this week. Not even annoyed. That new one is spectacular. Fair enough. It is always annoying. It's sort of sod's law, isn't it? I mean, I'm painting a Numenor army at the moment, and I can guarantee once I've finished it, they'll announce the new Last Alliance stuff. But anyway, there we go. So that's some of the comments at the moment, and that's just off the box set. Let's delve into some of the other things. I'll quickly fly through the Lothlorien stuff because we've already knew about Orifin and Rumil. I don't know why they announced this today. They mentioned it anyway. I'm sure it's been announced before. But either way, new Orifin and Rumil from the Defence North. Rumil, of course, already exists, but had a terrible model with a really long arm. That's a much nicer model, it must be said. I'm glad that they're getting rid of Rumil's old model because I've wanted Rumil in a Lothlorien army for a while because he's so good in the game, but that model just sucks. So now it's nice to just be able to buy both of them in one. if you're a fan of that sort of thing. Talking of that sort of thing, here is the exciting new Guards of the Galadrim Court. They're kind of plain, aren't they? I mean, they look nice. Don't get me wrong. They look okay, and I'm guessing that they won't have really bendy pikes, which is always good. Are they as good as the current metals? I don't know. Maybe they're better. I like that. Obviously, there's a banner, so that means that you can have a banner in there. But you can't even give a. Can you give a Galadrim Court Guard a banner straight away? I can't remember. I know you can hand it off to him eventually, but either way, I'm not convinced by them. I guess that's why they were buried in this big announcement about other stuff. But they're cool. If you're a Lothlorien player, they are better than the wonky pikes that we have at the moment. So that's something. So there's some LV stuff. There are a couple more LV things. Before we get into the dissenting opinions, we've got someone waiting in the wings at some point who's going to arrive, and we can have a bit of a debate about whether we think this is a good announcement or a bad announcement for the game. I'm still intrigued at what you think. Let me know in the comments if you have a dissenting opinion. It seems that generally, certainly among viewers here on NMute Live, that everyone seems pretty happy with it. There's a couple of people who are not ideal, not particularly happy about certain bits. But, I'd be intrigued. I'd kind of like a rating, actually, maybe out of 10. Whack a rating in there if you think, what do you think of today's releases in total? Maybe some bits you can say, oh, well, a Gothmog's 9 out of 10, but this is not, the box set was a 4 or whatever. If you want to do something like that, I'd love to get a number on it just to get a sense of what people think. Where was I going? I was talking about elves. So which one do we want first? Let's go with Glorfindel, because this is sick, right? I mean, I've got a Glorfindel on the painting table at the moment, and this is just so much better, like a million times better. I know they've just recently released Glorfindel back onto the made to order, but and it's annoying that he's been repackaged in with in Gildor. But I guess they're scenario pieces, the ones without armor. Gildor's never going to be used in games other than by someone called Tim Elwes, who's in the comments and regularly brings him out. And I keep telling him he shouldn't, but he keeps losing with him. To be fair, he beat me with him. So, that's not really worth anything. Anyway, so the Glorfindel unarmored is great, but this is just another level, right? I don't think we've seen anything on this standard for a long, long time. The armor is just so beautiful. The sort of, I don't know what it is in the middle there. I don't know, would you call it a lapel? A sort of, I don't know what it is. It's that big dangly bit down the front. It just looks so detailed. Lovely. And the horse rearing. I like that the sword is tucked in over his shoulder, because it means that it's not going to snap off as easily. Every time a sword points forward, it just snaps off, and it's tucked away behind his head, so it sort of increases or decreases that chance of it being caught. I love the detail of the bells. Adam Troke mentioned this in the stream earlier, that Glorfindel's bells were sort of heralded his arrival when the hobbits were hiding and running away from the ring wraiths. So I love the fact that they've got those bells on. It just looks fantastic. So yeah, really, really like that one. I think that's a hit for me. It's obviously Forge World, so it's going to be a bit more expensive, but I approve. Where were we? So J-Max Armies of Middle-earth says, sadly can't pike support around corners anymore. Way, very good. About the Guard of the Galadrim. Alan says, I'm happy with it. Wish I hadn't just bought Gothmog, though. It's always the way, isn't it? Always the way. Pilot says, you think they'll make minis for characters in the Amazon series? I personally think that they have the deal done. I do. I think the chances of them... there's just so many reasons that the Last Alliance should have been now. It should have already been done. I just think that they've got rights to make a box set based on the new Amazon series for next Christmas. I may be completely wrong. I have no information about this. I had prior information about Osgiliath from some sources, but the Last Alliance is completely a stab in the dark. It's just based on lots of little bits and bobs. So, I mean, check out the other video on my channel where I detail it a bit more. Some of it's a little bit out of date because it was released right at the start of sort of releases of different names and characters for the new series. But I think GW have the rights personally. So yes, I think they will make some characters for it. Maybe next year, but not straight away. They're going to want to. I don't know. Maybe they have the rights and they just haven't made anything yet, or they don't want to invest loads of time in it if it's completely tanks. Who knows? Dan Maskell says, I believe a patron. Dan, hi. I know we've got a few patrons in the box. Dan says, very happy for the box set. Was scared a new rule system would follow, but shows how well the game and armies are balanced. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think I'm very glad that they haven't changed the rules. I think FAQ inclusion is a great idea. It would be really annoying if we had to learn a new system. They could still keep the profiles and make all that make sense still, but I don't think there's anything broken about the game. The only problem is when we introduce new armies and they might be a bit stronger or whatever, and they get tweaked in FAQs and stuff like that. So I think it's a great idea, just including the FAQs and the errata in the new book and maybe updating some pictures or whatever just for a new audience. Love it. Glorfindel is absolutely stunning, says Michael, another patron. Thank you very much for your support. In fact, later on, I forgot about this. Later on, we'll be doing a patron live draw. It feels a bit out of date now to be giving away Bjornings, but I'm going to be giving out a Bjorning Forge World pack to a patron supporter. The names are already in the hat. So if you want to be a patron, you'll be in the hat for next time, which will almost certainly be something of the things that have been announced. Depends which is coming first. But yeah, sign up. The links are in the thingy below. What did you miss? Top Table Gaming. I've just been nattering. I missed you. I mentioned the Glorfindel. I'll get him up again for you. I know you've seen it already, but there you go. I think it's fantastic. I really do. I can't see how anyone could dislike seeing that model being announced. It just rocks. There's practical reasons for it being great. Like I mentioned earlier about the sword, the right angle, but just in terms of pure beauty, I think it's great. Michael says it's absolutely stunning. Adam says this is possibly the best sculpt in the MESBG range. Russell says that Glorfindel. Yeah, it's great. I think it's fantastic. I can't think of a bad word, and I can't see why anyone would about that one. I think it's really, really good. So that is all of the elves, apart from Elrond. Okay. I think there's something with the horses these days. The plastic horses look a bit strange to me. Maybe I'm just so used to the old Rohan horses, but it's undeniably cool. I like that we're getting a plastic kit for Elrond. It makes sense to me, and the fact that it came with a banner. I don't have the image of the banner here with me, but it's a really nice kit. That I've not got an Elrond at the moment. I've wanted a mounted one for a while, because he's just really good, isn't he, live? But really good mounted. But he's I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that model. It just looks ace. And I do have the picture of the banner. I've just been fiddling around behind the scenes. Here it is. There's the banner, and that looks really cool. I don't think we needed that, if I'm completely honest. The pose isn't greatly different from the one we've got, but I guess it was a bit old-fashioned, the other one. But to have it thrown in there, maybe it'll make the box set a bit more expensive. But I mean, a nice banner's a nice banner, isn't it? And it's apparently Gil-galad's banner, which I didn't know. That's quite cool though. I like that they've got that, but it also gives a hint. Doesn't it give a hint at the quality potential of the armor on any plastic Rivendell that might eventually arrive? Because the detail on that armor is something else. It's really good. I don't think we needed it, but it looks amazing. Even the sort of gentle curvature of that sword is really nice. I'm coming around on it, actually. I feel like maybe at first I wasn't sure I liked it, but now I do. Now I'm looking at it in great detail. It looks really good. There you go. So that was most of it, I think, the announcements. Let's see what else. Oh, the elves are up for pre-order Friday. I didn't hear that. Where did you hear that? I wouldn't be surprised if Orifin and Thingy are, but I assume not the others. It must be Orifin and Haldir. But either way, if you have information, Let me know where you've seen it, Russell. Joe says he's going to collect Rivendell just to use that model. Yeah. I think all of the I think Glorfindel particularly looks great. I think I've definitely, my plan has been for a while to do a Rivendell and Lothlorien alliance, and it actually included Glorfindel. I've tested it out and it's pretty good. And this is just adding a much nicer model, so I'm going to definitely do that. War Games Illustrated voted MESBG as one of the top 10 tabletop war games ever recently. Yeah, I read that article. It's good. The foundations are sound. It's well balanced and with much depth. I totally agree, Michael. I can see why people, think it's good, and I can see why they wouldn't want to change it. There's so many nuances to the system. It's one of those easy to master. In fact, Zorpazop did a really great article, a video about it in the last week or so. He stole some of my content. He stole some of my interview with Rick Priestley. Zorpazorp, looking at you. I know, sorry, I asked for permission. But yeah, he did a great video about sort of summing up why he thinks it's a great system. And I have to say, I completely agree with him. I think it's a wonderful system. I think the rules are great. I don't think it needs changing a lot, if at all. A couple of things that could potentially be tweaked, but nothing that changes the. I would be err on the side of not changing the rules because it's so close to perfect as it is. So, Michael says Elrond foot mounted looks extremely cool too. I think it improves on previous sculpts. Yeah, I mean the first sculpt, the very very original one, the metal one from the Last Alliance, that one was. I think it's pretty good. I mean the face is really good on that. Do I have it to hand? No, of course I don't. I think it's pretty good. I really do like the face on that. But it's very kind of static, kind of looks a bit weird, doesn't it? The pose. So it's nice to have a new one. I'm not a fan of the Hobbit era one, really. But yeah, it was not. It was okay. I think, if I'm honest, if I wanted a plastic hero, I would have chosen Boromir way sooner than I'd have chosen Elrond. I'm surprised because Elrond's already got an armored mounted version, an armored foot version. Boromir, it seems an odd omission so far. Maybe he'll be coming down the tracks alongside this big box set at some point next year, but we'll see. Okay, so that's some of the stuff so far. I'm hoping to get my guest in, Luke Pascoe, who's going to drop in at some point. He should be dropping in the next 10 minutes or so, apparently, to talk about his take on the sort of announcements. Because, as I said, I've loved it. I think it's been fantastic, but not everyone does, and I'm intrigued to get some different perspectives on what they would have liked and what they think would have been a better idea for the thing. But what I will do, I don't know whether you're all painting or whatever. I know the plenty of people still watching, but if you've got paintbrushes, maybe drop the paintbrushes in the next few minutes because we're going to play a game in a minute. Clayton White says the Glorfindel and Lothlorien is out on Friday. Warcom confirmed on the release article for next week. Oh right, okay. Wow, Glorfindel's out so soon. Where does it say that? That's insane. I guess, to be fair, I didn't actually read it. I just sort of scrolled through it, looked at the pretty pictures, and listened to the stream. So that's really cool. I'm really excited for that. I'm definitely going to pick that up. That's an immediate add to the basket, I think, and maybe even a giveaway here on the channel for patron subscribers. So get in on that. That's cool. Thanks, Clayton. You're the second person who said that. There you go. So Glorfindel, Triplets, and Galadrim Court is in this week's community article. Where is this week's community article? How is everyone knowing about this one? All I've got is the Middle Earth strategy battle game ones with the roundup. But anyway, really exciting. I guess we have to scroll through. I guess it's one of those ones we have to scroll through all of the, 40k and other crap. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to play a little game, which I call What Do Your Elf Eyes See? Basically, this is a game where we play a little clip from the movies, and you just have to watch it and see what's missing.
Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
Yes, what do your elf eyes see? So I'm going to turn off my banner and put this one on. So everyone get ready. We're going to have a little bit of a game to play along before we introduce our guest into the mix. We have got some more announcements, I think, to talk about. Have we? I think we talked about it all, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Well, I think we've got all the pictures that we've done. So we'll have a little bit of a game, and then we can have a bit more of a debate and have a bit more of a bounce around with some folks. So the aim of the game is basically you just watch this clip that I'm going to play and pay very close attention because I've done something funny with it, and I'm going to ask you a big question afterwards of what. Well, basically, I'm not going to tell you the question until I've let you watch the clip. So let's watch the clip together and let me know what you think afterwards. Hold on.
Some who resisted. A last alliance of men and elves marched against the armies of Mordor, and on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth.
Ooh. Sorry if this is rubbing it in for you, Last Alliance shippers. I know some of you are really keen for that. That's it. So that's the clip. I've got to ask you a question now. So essentially, what was different about that clip than you would usually expect? There was something different in there. Did you notice the difference? This is like a spot the difference type thing, except rather than I've sort of photoshopped some dodgy thing in, it's basically just something that I've changed. What was it? Do you know what was missing? Let me know in the comments. I'll play it again, and let me know what you think was missing here.
There were some who resisted. A last alliance of men and elves marched against the armies of Mordor, and on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth.
Yeah. Do you know what was different? Let me know in the comments. I'll run through it in a second. Corcor says we need new elf models. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that for the Last Alliance. I kind of agree. But I really do like the elves that we've got, the plastic elves. It's weird they're on a sprue with the Last Alliance dudes, the Numenorians, but I really rate them actually. I think it's quite good. I think they're a bit naff, I suppose. They're a bit flat. Yeah, I think I'd like to see some new models. But I don't know whether we're going to get. I think the problem is I'm not getting my hopes up. That's the issue at the moment. So yeah, let's see what's going on. What people are saying. Oh yeah, Russell says it's come out while you've been streaming. Scroll past all the heresy stuff. Yeah, no. Yeah, okay, fair enough. There is always a lot of heresy stuff. Adam McGuire says Top of Mount Doom looked different to me. It wasn't that. The explosion from Mount Doom, was it that? No, maybe it was. It's interesting. Both of you said that. Maybe there was something in the stream that's just kind of obscured it somehow. But no, it wasn't that. Is my face? It looks really white to me on the camera. Okay, that's making it far worse. Right. Okay. What else we got? The archers shooting? No, it is not that. No, it's not that. Let's just play. Let's show you what the thing is, and I'll talk over it to let you know what the answer is. Just fill in time while my guest.
But there were some who resisted.
So it's not this bit. It's not this bit.
Men and elves.
Do you notice anything that's different to the original film?
And on the slopes of Mount Doom, they fought for the freedom of Middle-earth.
That's pretty much how it all explodes. No, what we've missed there, different orc, innit? I cut an orc out. That's all I did. It was quite straightforward. Anyway, well done if you picked up on that. If you were there, you go. Must confess, didn't see anything. Maybe something about the top of Mount Doom. Interesting. Why is everyone different? Looking at focusing on Mount Doom, but no, it was a different orc. I should have thought about this, but I have not got the original edited. I should have kept that one. But anyway, thanks very much for watching there, ever so briefly about that. A couple of things before my guest arrives. He said he'll be in a couple of minutes. I've got some cool stuff coming up on the channel. I mentioned earlier we're going to do some more Entmoot live streams. Yes, it was, Michael. It was a bit sneaky. I mentioned earlier that I'm planning to do some live streams about the Rings of Power series. Yes, the sun is really getting on my nerves. So they're going to start every week. Essentially, I'm going to do a Rings of Power. I don't know what reaction stream, a bit like this sort of thing, just having a bit of a natter about each episode, sort of via the context of toy soldiers, and we can paint and all that sort of stuff. I might try and theme them vaguely around something in the episode. So you've got to paint an elf, you've got to paint a whatever, or I don't know. That sounds a bit Battle Stream in Middle Earth kind of thing, but at least it'll be a bit of fun. So let's see if we can do that. And I'm going to do that, and I've got some other bits and bobs coming up on the channel as well. I've got some Last Alliance things coming up because. I'm really glad because in the past I've been known to do a project, do a video. I filmed a video about the Vanquishers the Necromancer, and then they got nerfed. So that was annoying. And hopefully we won't have that sort of thing happen again. But I've got some Last Alliance themed stuff on the horizon. I mentioned I'm painting Numenorians at the moment. So that's going to be some of the stuff that's coming up on the YouTube channel in a bit. So yeah, I really like the idea of doing some more gubbins centered around that. Particularly now there's going to be a new Glorfindel. That's pretty cool. I'll do some stuff with that. Definitely. I really like the look of him. Okay, let me know any of your additional comments about what you think are coming next, because we've got a hint here that Elrond and Glorfindel, and we've had some of those hints at the Last Alliance with your banner and your Elrond and your Glorfindel. I'm interested. What do you think is coming next? Because one thing that we didn't get here is that we didn't get a book. We don't know. There might be a book, I suppose. There could be one announced in the next 6 months. If this Osgiliath box set comes out in November or whatever, we could get a new book soon, before even the Osgiliath box set. I doubt that'll happen because we only just got the Last Alliance, the Defense of the North. But you never know. There could be a new book. So what do you think's next? Do you think it is all going to be linked around this Osgiliath box set? Are we going to get something akin to War in Gondor or Gondor at War or whatever? Or do you think that we're going to get something slightly different? Or is it going to be Last Alliance themed around the Elrond stuff? Let me know your predictions in the comments below. I'm keen to know what you're after. Michael says, guess the new Osgiliath ruins will be available separately at some point to enable mega builds. I think the old ones will fit well with the new ones as well. Yeah, I think they will actually. I really like the look of the old ones. I don't think there's any problem with them. I feel like I heard a rumor somewhere that there was some sort of damage to the molds. That I don't know where I heard that, but I feel like there was some comment about the integrity of the molds was very bad or something like that, so that they were not, they weren't confident they were going to last forever. Or I don't know who I heard that from or why it might be considered true. But it's consistent with the reason that they might have replaced these, because those old ones were fine. But yeah, I like the idea of enabling mega builds. I'm sure Lockie at Zorpazorp is already cooking something up with those. He seemed pretty excited earlier. Carl Daly says, evening all, love the announcements, love the start set, Glorfindel, Damrod, and Elven Banner, my favourite of the new sculpt. Yeah, let's get Damrod up again, because a lot of people said that. I must say, he is a nice sculpt. Damrod, yeah, he's very unassuming. I mean, it's because he sucks in the game. Like, nobody wants to run a Damrod, do they? I mean, but it's a really nice. You can tell exactly who that guy is, can't you? Like, in the film, if you'd have said before today, who is Damrod in the films, I'd have been like, I don't know which one he is. But to me, he looks really good. I think it's a really nice sculpt. It's a really nice sculpt. Faramir, still not convinced by Faramir. He's good. he David Wenham? I thought he looked a bit more David Wenham on the live stream earlier, but I'm not sure. But anyway, he still looks cool. I still like him. We got some more comments in there. Who is it? Carl said something. Joe said something. He said, maybe I imagined it, but I'm sure Adam Choke hinted that Gil-galad was coming soon. You didn't imagine it. He said, someone in the comments said, no Gil-galad, question mark, sad face, question mark, sad face, that sort of thing. And he said, yet. So, I mean, I don't think it's any secret that they're surely going to do a decent Gil-galad model at some point. It's just a matter of when, isn't it? Is it going to be in a week? Is it going to be in a month? Is it going to be in a year? Are they going to wait until they do a Gil-galad based off of the Gil-galad in the Rings of Power? I don't know. I'd have thought they'd do one anyway. Maybe I don't know. It just all feels a bit weird that they've got some Elrond. They've got a plastic Elrond now that's based on the Lord of the Rings, but then there's a big Rings of Power series, and it feels inconsistent, I guess, with maybe they don't have the rights. I don't know, but I still think they have the rights for it. Corkor says almost all the Hero Plastic made releases so far have been related to Pelennor Battle. This Elrond breaks that way. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I think the reason that is, though, is because almost all of the big heroes are at the Pelennor Field. Like, there's very few who aren't. Frodo, Sam, and Gollum aren't there. Gandalf of Grey isn't there. So Boromir isn't there. But yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, I hadn't really thought of it like that. The way I saw it was think of the big heroes in the Lord of the Rings, and then essentially those people are the ones getting plastic kits. That makes sense. The Fellowship of the Ring. Most of them are done. Boromir, Frodo, Sam, and Gollum not yet. But I think they're gonna have one. Like I'm amazed that we haven't got a new Frodo and a new Sam. I mean, Frodo and Sam are the heroes of the trilogy, right? I mean, why would you not have them yet? I don't know. That's what I figured. You're just going to get all the big heroes. Like some people have been saying, oh, we need an Elendil. We need a plastic Elendil. I don't think we're going to get a plastic Elendil because he all he does is appear briefly in the movies and then get smashed by Sauron's mace. And like the average person who's never read the books is not going to know who Elendil is. So who knows? Who knows? Carl says, I hope Damrod and Faramir get a little change to their profiles in the box set. Gothmog's getting the mace option into his profile. Well, Carl, Gothmog, there are already models of Gothmog with a mace in. So I don't think it says in his profile. Does it say in his profile he's got a sword? I think it just says he's got a hand weapon, doesn't it? I don't know. I can't remember. But interesting. Now, I think my guest is in the stream. I can't see his video. I don't know whether Luke is... I'm going to add him in at some point, but I can't see video. He might be able to add in the private chat if he has video, but we'll add him in a bit because we're talking about do we think these releases are good? Anyway, let's find there's some more comments I just saw. So, new Osgiliath stuff, eh? Says Quinn. Hi, Quinn. I recognise you. You've played me with Iron Hills before, haven't you? Welcome to the stream. Adam says, was there supposed to be a special announcement for the Two Towers anniversary? Yeah, Osgiliath. Can you not remember? It was a massive deal at the end of the second film, right? Like, am I missing something there? I know. Yeah, that is the Two Towers anniversary. Surely. Yeah. I don't know whether I'm getting confused or you're getting confused, but Osgiliath was a massive part of the second film. Like that, Frodo and Sam get dragged over to Osgiliath. There's the ring wraith, and there's all the orcs and stuff like fire and arrows from the other side of the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I can see your point. I suppose most of the Gothmog stuff is in the third film, but I don't know. We'll see. I think my guest has dropped out of the thing for a second. He'll be back in because he was probably trying to sort it out. Sort out the video. Michael says, would love some chunks of Minas Tirith masonry for Pelennor scatter terrain. Nice idea. Yes, like as flung by the various different massive catapults. Quinn says, I've been on this very podcast. Yeah, have you? I can't remember. I know you've spoken to me at multiple times, the On the Entmoot thing. I don't know whether you've been on the video bit, but you've definitely been on the podcast audio version. Gundabad says, needs more Gundabad. Fair enough. Adam McGuire, Gothmog is Return of the King. Yeah, I know. I guess you don't see any enemies in the... maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe there should be more Two Towers. It does feel ever so slightly lacking in Two Towers, doesn't it? I mean, yes, Osgiliath it starts in the Two Towers, but the good bit is definitely later on. Yeah, good point. Old school Chris C. Boo-ra-rum, too good, sir. Boo-ra-rum. How many points in each army in the box set? I don't know. Damrod's 30, Madril's about 50, Faramir's about 80. So that's, 170 or thereabouts, plus 12 Warriors of Minas Tirith, another 100, plus the Rangers is another 100. So 450-ish, probably about that, something like that. Someone else will do the maths. It'll be easy enough. Right, okay, here we go. Let's add Luke to the stream. I don't know whether you can hear me, Luke. I can't see you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Greetings.
Yo, what's on, man?
Yeah, good, thank you. Greetings and welcome. Are you struggle to get your camera sorted?
Yeah, I couldn't get the camera going, but I managed to get the audio going, so...
Well, you're here. That's the important thing. Welcome along to Luke, then, to the chat. So far, we've been pretty positive about it. But I know, Luke, you may have some dissenting opinions after reading some of the things that you put on the Lord of the Rings miniatures rock page. I'll just quickly sum up the last couple of comments, and then I'll let you unleash your fury. We've got Mr. Srar13 wanted Beachbone 2, all in good time, I hope. Yeah, Beachbone's, he's going to come at some point, right? Surely he is. I don't know. I'm surprised that he's not already out. Maybe there was a problem with the sculpt, or maybe it was just crap. In fact, I feel like I've heard someone tell me it's crap. Maybe a person of significance, but I probably shouldn't reveal it because it might have been a drunken conversation with one of the the Middle Earth team. Sean Clark says, I think people were expecting a made to order like they did with the Fellowship Anniversary. Yeah, they'll still do one of them. Maybe just we have more two tower releases later in the year, probably. And Fat Hobbit Gaming, welcome along. Had to have a longer lunch break at my tournament today so that the participants could watch the stream. Good times to see that many hobbyists reacting to the reveals. Man, Fat Hobbit Gaming, you should have filmed the reactions in the hall. I'd have loved to have seen that. Okay, well, let's let Luke jump back in. So, Luke, just before, because we can't see you, so I want to get a bit of an idea of your history of the game.
Cool.
What your vibe is. How long have you been playing? When did you start? What armies have you got? Tell me all about you.
Well, I started playing back in 2001, I think it was, with the Fellowship of the Ring Metal Fellowship set. And
Nice.
Around that sort of time, the Metal Mordor Orcs came out, and it was Uruk-hai Scouts as well, I believe. Shortly after that, we got a Sauron. But yeah, so I've been a big fan during the start. Lord of the Rings has played a massive part in my childhood upbringing, so I've always been a massive fan. I've loved the game. I tend to lean more towards skirmish games because Lord of the Rings was the first one I ever had any real love for. I do play 40k, and I played Warhammer Fantasy as well, but Lord of the Rings was always at the forefront for me. So yeah, I'm just a massive fan. And today when I heard there was a preview, yesterday when I heard there was a preview, I was talking to my missus about it, and I was proper pumped. And then when I watched it today, I was like, oh man, they dropped the ball again.
Oh, that's interesting. So just to clarify, in the in-between years, have you played any MESBG at all?
Yes, I have. Okay. On and off. I kind of stopped when I was around 17 for the party phase, night clubbing and stuff like that. But then got back into it in my sort of early 20s.
Yeah. I think that's exactly the pattern I followed. I think you're probably not the only one there. But so today you're a little bit disappointed. You think they've dropped the ball. We've just been talking for about sort of 45 minutes about all these different exciting announcements, whether it's different models, run through the ruins, the Lothlorien heroes, the Guard of the Gladrim, the Gothmog, the Glorfindel, the Faramir and the two Rangers, Elrond and a banner, and you're not happy. Go on, let it rip. I really want to know what you think. I genuinely do.
Right. So The models are very nice. I can't say too much about the models. I think they're great, apart from maybe the exception of Faramir, because in my personal opinion, I prefer the stances of my hero models to be dynamic isn't the word, more stoic, sort of less dynamic, I suppose. So him sort of leapfrogging over a tactical rock doesn't really float my boat. But the Gothmog, I saw the Gothmog and I was like, yeah, he's really nice. My main issue comes is when you're building an army and you put Gothmog in amongst the rest of the Morannon orcs. I think Lord of the Rings is very rich and it's got a very solid IP and just troops, man. I think we need troops. It's like the hero models, as nice as they are, when you put them like Faramir and the Rangers, if you put them in amongst the rest of the Rangers, they're going to outshine the rest of the Rangers. And I get it, maybe they should because they're heroes. But at the same time, I kind of think like it's a cash grab move from GW.
Right, you think go that far, cash grab?
Yeah, I think that it feels that way, man. Because like my resent started really with the reboot in general. When the reboot came, I was really excited for the Forge World Swan Knights. I was like, they look awesome. I had the Pelennor Fields box that was decent, but to be honest, I wanted a little bit more new in there. But it was still okay. Alongside the Swan Knights was cool. Really, it started with the Rohan. So when they announced the Rohan release, we got a book and the plastic AMR. I'm all good with the plastic AMR. I think it looks great. But it being Rohan, I was expecting maybe some Royal Guard or some new Warriors of Rohan, something to go alongside. I think especially the Riders of Rohan could do with some love. The Royal Guard especially.
Yeah, no, yeah. I get it. I guess it's hard to defend a multinational company for not creating these guys, isn't it? And I can understand it. On the one hand, you think, well, look, we've got all these cool new things that we've got today, like your Faramirs and the Gothmogs and whatever. But what could we do with the Rider of Rohan? I mean, I think. I'm kind of an opinion that the plastic. I think the plastic troops are pretty good, and they're good value. Like I get what you're saying. Some of the sculpts a little bit naff. The Rohan horses' ankles break all the time, but they're really cheap. Man, are they good value? Like I think for a starter, getting involved in this game, they're so good value.
They are, and I've heard that argument that they're good value. Which I suppose they are. How much is a box set running for nowadays? 25?
Yeah, I think it's about 25 for the Riders. You carry on with your argument, and I'll check that.
Cool. Well, if a box set of Riders costs 25 quid, GW managed to retool the Space Marines into Primaris Marines, and they're multi-part plastic kits, and those are 10 dudes for 35. So, I mean. You might have an increase of like maybe a tenner, but for higher quality models, I wouldn't mind paying that tenner. But that's my personal opinion. I mean, some people might want to keep the price point as low as humanly possible. But then the thing that sort of contradicts that is Forge World. Because the Dunlin models, you're paying £22 for 2 cavalry models. And people say, it's great to get people involved in the hobbies like young kids. But the problem is when you start looking at Forge World and bringing them into the equation, I don't feel that any young child, like any young man, like say back in the day when I wanted to get into it, there was no way I was going to blag my mum to spend £22 on two cavalry models. So that's where my issue comes. If a kid came into a store and was like, "Oh, that Dunlin army is wicked. I want to do Dunlins," it's not affordable. So the affordable argument is sort of a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the argument there is, is someone going to come in going, "Wow, Dunland is sick," or are they going to come in going, "I really like AMR, I really like Gandalf, I really like Aragorn." That surely those are the people you want plastic, and to support. I think. The games are all about the films as well, but the games, they are all about the heroes and who's your coolest hero, and your troops are a little expendable. So I don't think you're going to care that as much about your troops. But look, don't get me wrong. I agree with you. I would love to see every single troop in the game upgraded to something of a standard. Like the new Primaris you mentioned, Space Marines, or the AOS stuff, have all these cool things. But I mean, they are, as you said, they are all like 35 quid for a box of like 10 minis or maybe less.
Yeah,
I don't. I mean, I could probably afford it. Maybe some people couldn't. But I don't know. Just part of me thinks I'd prefer them to get some really nice, cool plastic heroes out there, like your Elrond. Yeah. He just sucked. I mean, until now he did suck. But no, go on. No, you've clearly got more to say. Go for it.
Yeah, sorry, dude. It's like
it's fine. That's what we're here for.
A lot of the hero models I find have aged pretty well. It's like the Metal Mordor Orcs that came out back in the day. They outshine the plastic Mordor Orcs any day of the week. You know, they look fantastic. But in the modern day now, where we've got 3D printers, there's a couple companies floating around, like sort of say MESBG Miniatures, and they can. This is a one-man band, and he's sitting in his home, sculpting digitally sculpting full units and heroes each and every month for people to join a Patreon, download, and print at home. So I'm just thinking, in this sort of realm where we can now 3D print our own things, and to be fair, 3D printing is a lot cheaper than buying GW stuff. It's just a bit disheartening, because I'd actually like to buy the GW stuff. I want to buy it, but some of the 3D printed stuff is just outshining a lot of your core infantry. You know, they just. I don't know. They just look better on the tabletop.
And you know what? I definitely don't disagree. I mean, like I think I can't remember what they call them, but the Royal Guard equivalents from MESBG Miniatures are so much better.
They look fantastic.
They do look great, and maybe Games Workshop's figuring these sorts of things into their plans. I mean, if you think, you know, they understand that people are going to print Arnor miniatures and sell them on the internet or whatever. And, you know, quite apart from, I don't want to get into the copyright stuff, because that's just a boring argument. But like the just from the sort of simplicity of it, if you think, well, okay, people are going to print Arnorian models, they're going to print the troops, and they can print them in millions or in the hundreds of whatever, then fair enough. And the same with maybe Minas Tirith or Royal Guard. But the heroes, they can do well. So maybe that's what they're thinking, is that, well, look, if we do some really good heroes, people will buy the heroes because they actually look like the guys from the movies. We have the intellectual property for that, so we'll do it. Whereas the troops, maybe we'll just let other people do what they want with them, and we'll keep with these miniatures that have, you know, done a serviceable job for the last 20 years, and you know, they're okay. You know, maybe that's the argument. I don't know what the logic behind it for them is, but
I just think it's a shame, because they're sort of pushing. They're like, I've got a 3D printer and I do 3D print stuff, but at the moment it's just been like bits and pieces, some 40k bits, stuff like shoulder pads, heads, just stuff like that. But recently I've been looking into Lord of the Rings, and I really want to sort of get back into it full force. But the only thing that stops me is when I'm trying to build an army and the men of Minas Tirith are out of scale to say Aragorn and stuff like that. That stuff just really bugs me, and it's one of those things. It's just because I love it so much.
Well, that's that. You see, this is the thing about that. You know, when people have these clashes on the great forums of the internet, like the Great British Hobbit League or the Lord of Miniatures Rocks page or whatever it is, you forget that the reason is you're passionate and you want it to look right. And you know what? I can see that the Minas Tirith Warriors, they are a little small. I think they're really good. The Minas Tirith Warriors are some of the better ones. I mean, I mentioned earlier the Rivendell plastics are a little looking. I mean, compared, for example, this tease that we've got now of this new Rivendell banner bearer. And you know, if the Warriors were that good, we'd all be spending money on them, wouldn't we?
Can you imagine if the Warriors were that good? It would be so good.
They do look sick. I can see people with far too much money and time on their hands are going to be buying this kit and chopping them up hundreds of times to make models out of it. But compare that to your Minas Tirith and your Rangers. Yeah, I can see it. I mean, yeah, I guess the focus never is on the heroes, on the troops. But but yeah, it's hard to argue the quality is definitely worse. And let's bring some of the commenters in on this. Luke's obviously got an opinion. He wants plastic troops. He wants the stuff, and he's a bit disappointed by the announcements today. What do you think, everyone in the comments? I know we've got some stuff here. Let's see. Preston Rutherford says the battle host boxes should have been captains and kings because most people have the named heroes. It makes it so you only need to get one. Missed opportunity. Yeah, fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah.
I guess they're not thinking about Preston. I think they're not. The problem is you're thinking about yourself here, aren't you? You're saying most people have them, but obviously people starting the game don't, and that's who these are aimed at. I didn't give a toss about these battle hosts. I'm not going to buy one because I don't need one. I've got all the stuff that I need, but newbies will. Old school Chris C. I think that's Chris Cooper, maybe, of Ruse Creations channel. They're really cheap. Quote, yes, this so much. Yeah. He says, old school Chris, do we really want 10 sides for 35 or 20 to 24 for 30? I'll tell you, so 10 minis for 35 quid or 20 to 24 for 30. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's value, isn't it? And I can understand your point. Obviously, Luke obviously wants some cool new minis for his troops. Some other people want cheap stuff. I get that. Adam says, my fear of new models is scale creep. I would hate if they end up increasing base sizes like their other games.
That bugs me.
Yeah. Go on, Luke. What do you think of
that? Yeah, that would bug me if they started the scale creep. Yeah, that bugs me in 40k as well. It's one of those things. You just want your army to look coherent, don't you? So. And as good as possible. So that's why I was saying about new troops, because it's just, I feel like, especially with the newer heroes being bigger, that scale creep is creeping in, and it tends to make the rest of your army look a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, that's fair point. Sean says, I love the old school models. If you want shiny gubbins, you have other model ranges. Let's refresh the heroes first. Yeah, fair. You know what? I can see what you're getting at. I don't mind the plastic models of the old ones, and I guess if I were to choose... I would probably choose some of the heroes to upgrade. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm more likely to buy multiples of a character than I am to buy multiple. Like, so, for example, I've got all the Ministry of Heroes that I need. I've got all the Rangers. I've got most of the Rivendell, probably. Easterlings. I've got all them. So anything for me new, if they were to say redo another Aragorn, I'd probably still get it, even though I've got 7, 8, 9, however many Aragorns there are. So. Sean clearly is interested in refreshing heroes before refreshing troops, which is a fair point, I suppose. Cool. Let's carry on with the comments. Mr. SRA13 says, I suppose it's dependent on whether we think pulling in new players is more important than supporting existing players or collectors. GW are trying to do both, but maybe should just focus on loyal fans. Yeah, I mean, as loyal fans, of course we're going to say that. But GW is a company and it wants more people playing the game. And I kind of think I want more people playing the game. What do you think, Luke? Do you think troops would encourage more people to play the game or big heroes?
I think, honestly, it would. I think it would encourage new people to play. Because if you saw a new shiny box of, imagine if they didn't do the Osgiliath box set, or they did do the Osgiliath box set, but the next box set to come out is like Last Alliance, with new High Elves, all new Númenóreans. I think most people, existing players and new players, would love that. Another thing that I've always thought was a little bit weird is how maybe they haven't got the IP for it, but how they haven't gone into like the first age and second age yet, especially when there was like a bit of a lull a couple of years ago and there wasn't a lot coming out.
Yeah, I think that's all down to intellectual property, isn't it? Because they only have the rights to do stuff based on the Lord of the Rings films and the Hobbit films. So anything that appears in those films, it's golden. So even things like and the book and the Lord of the Rings book, which I think is crucial because they can do things
so that's how we got Glorfindel.
Cool. Tom Bombadil and stuff like that. So it's the Lord of the Rings. I think it's something to do with the way it's a very complicated, but it's something to do with the way the rights were sold for the books. So the rights of the Lord of the Rings were sold to someone, and then the films picked it up. Anyway, it's all to do with that. So sadly, we can't get any first age or whatever unless they have the rights to the Amazon Rings of Power series, which I still think they do. Some people disagree with that. Let's see, who else have we got commenting in here? Michael says, my sense is that it's a balancing act. Sets for newbies and new stuff for oldies. Michael, I know which one you are. Michael says it does feel like 3D printing is going to be something companies like GW are going to have to be mindful of in the future. Yeah, of course. I think the reality is, though, I mean, Luke, you mentioned you've got a 3D printer. And I just tell me, how complicated is it to actually get started with a 3D printer? Because everything I've read and heard sort of implied that it's going to be really easy, but actually it's also, every time I've looked into it, it sounds complicated.
Right. So I'm not very technological minded. So even coming on the stream, I had to get my missus to set it up for me because I'm crap with technology.
And you still failed to get the video going as well.
I know. But yeah, 3D printing. I think I got lucky because I bought the Mars Pro 2. And I was talking to someone on the 3D printing pages, and he was just like, look, when you get your 3D printer, which is turning up in a couple of days, he was like, just whack these settings in. This is the quality that I'm getting, and posted a photo. And it was a photo of the Valor Corps, so like Death Corps of Craig from Maker's Cult. And it looked amazing. So I was just like, wicked, dude, thank you. And as soon as my printer came through, it was easy to set up and sort of put the resin in and all. That wasn't a problem. And then when I put the settings in, I didn't even do a test print. I just put the settings in and whacked on, I think it was some Space Marines, and they printed out perfect. So it's one of those things. Now it's working. Don't mess with it. Just leave it going. You know.
That's interesting.
So I just pressed the button.
Yeah, just press the button, mate. And the chances are it's going to become easier and easier to use. They're going to become more user friendly as it becomes less of a kind of niche thing for people to do and more of a kind of easy to access thing, like, you know, plugging in a printer. Although having said that, every time I plug my bloody paper printer in, it doesn't print properly anyway. So how I'm going to be doing with resin, dipping it in ethanol and all that sort of stuff afterwards to keep it clean and all that, I don't know. But still,
sorry, that's another thing. I don't clean with alcohol, so I use the water washable resin. Which just means I just got to fill like a little bucket full of water, wash them off with a little toothbrush, whack them under I've got like a normal desk lamp with a UV bulb. I just bought a UV bulb and off of Amazon and just plugged it into a normal desktop lamp, and boom, jobs are good.
It's interesting. It is interesting. Michael makes a good point there. GW are going to have to be mindful of it in the future. Sean Clark says, I think it's a testament to the rule set. If 40k didn't get new models every 2 weeks, I doubt people would be interested in the game as much as they are. I don't know. I'm not interested in 40k. The models are very nice, I must say. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe there is something to do with that. The rule set is really good, so people get really passionate about it. Like Luke is passionate about wanting new troops. I'm just enjoying it. I don't care which. I'll carry on playing with the crap troops. I'll play with new troops. I'll play with new heroes. Don't bother me. I just love the game. So maybe you're right, Sean. Carl says Luke isn't wrong. We all want new troops. It looks like GW are heading towards more elites being Forge World, which is a start. Yeah, I can see what, and you know, Luke, you mentioned earlier on the cost of Forge World, though, and I know there's the problem is there's all this boring stuff behind the scenes that GW or sort of people in the know say about. There's something to do with the number of spots that Middle Earth are allocated on the website, so that's why they've sort of packed some things like Gildor into Glorfindel's box and things like that, because they're only allocated a certain amount of web space. It seems crazy to me for them to not just have as much space as they can possibly do, but then Forge World has more webs. I don't really get all that sort of stuff, but apparently there's some limit on the number of things they have. That's why they cycle things in and out of the range. It's probably to do with the money thing, because they know that the space on the website is probably better dedicated to another batch of Space Marines, but because it just sells more. Who knows? Maybe that'll change in a bit, but yeah.
The other thing we've got to be mindful of is these made-to-order releases. As much as I like them, because we can get the old Metal Mordor Orcs back and all, there seems to be like this FOMO thing. So have you ever heard about that? Fear of missing out?
Yeah.
So you've got the fear of missing out, which means you'll get an influx of sales that weekend because people don't want to miss out on the made-to-order release.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I like it because we can get models that are no longer available, but at the same time they're marked up in price, and there's this FOMO thing. So if you haven't got the money in the bank account, you feel like you've missed out, and it's a little bit disheartening. And the reason I've been so outspoken about it, especially today with the preview, is because if you look at other fan bases, sometimes when you're outspoken, you can actually make changes. So like a good example of that would be Sonic. Are you aware a couple of years ago when they released the Sonic trailer?
Yeah, and it got some real hate, and then they went back and
they redid him.
Yeah,
and he looked much better. And I think if more people are outspoken, and we as a fan base, when I say we, it's not like I'm talking for everyone. I just think if people were to go out there and say, look, this is what I want, or create polls or stuff, we can actually let GW know what we want. And I think that might help if we were a little bit more sort of outspoken and not just happy with what we're given. Because I made a point of saying on one of my posts, like when Treebeard came out, Treebeard, again, lovely model. Whoever sculpted it did an amazing job. But who was asking for Treebeard? I don't get it. Like, if you wrote a top 10 list, guaranteed Treebeard wouldn't be on it for most people.
Maybe not. I think that I guess they know that us fans, regular fans, will just soak up whatever they give us. So whether it's troops or not, and I guess they're thinking, okay, like if we give them Numenor troops, they're gonna love it. Yeah, we'll all love it. We'll all buy some Numenor troops. It'll be fantastic, or new elves. But they're not thinking about us because they know we're a given. They know we're a guaranteed buy. Like everything that they bring out. If it fits in our armies or it fits in our collection, we'll get it anyway. So they're thinking about how do we get more people playing this game? We know this game is really good. We spend a lot of money on the intellectual property rights for it. We know that that whenever people play it, they seem to get on and they like the community and all this sort of stuff. So how do we get more people into this game? And I think the answer to that in their minds isn't let's get more generic Minas Tirith people. Let's get more cool heroes that you recognise in the films, even if they are 20 years old. But I think it's just a different strategy on their behalf. But I kind of agree to an extent that nobody was screaming out for Treebeard, but when Treebeard came out, people bought it. So
yeah, people were happy.
Yeah, true. Right, let's keep going. Mr. Max says, as someone who got back into the game recently after a 10+ year hiatus, this is all amazing, and I'm super happy, says Mr. Mac. So that's interesting. So he's a new player, or she isn't, I guess, Mr. He's a new player, and is super happy. So maybe that's the argument. Nice. Middle Earth in Mercia says, I see the argument of keeping things affordable, but if releases keep going as they are, in another 5 years, Forger releases will be mandatory if you want to have a current supported army. Yeah, I think that is a concern. I'd like personally to see plastic heroes first and then a wave of plastic troops, because eventually that would make sense. Once they've done all the big names in plastic, they can't just keep doing the big names in plastic again. Or maybe they could. I don't think they will. So maybe we just need to be patient and wait for most of the big plastic heroes to come out, because there's not loads left. Like there's only a few more scenarios where we're going to get plastic heroes, and then I think surely they'll get plastic troops on board. I don't know, maybe. What do you think to that?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. Yeah, I mean, hopefully we get plastic troops after the heroes. I'm really not sure. It's a shame because I don't really know the roadmap. So I don't, because I'm not in the Middle Earth team or anything, I don't really know what they're thinking, and I think that's a shame because I don't want to jump in with both feet.
Yeah,
if I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, as someone who you're kind of dipping your toe in, it'd be. I think that you're right. They need to sort of, but this is Games Workshop generally. They're very sort of I don't know.
That's close. It. They're not going to come out with a roadmap and go, "This is what we're doing for the next 12 months."
You know how Marvel do that thing where they're like, "In the next 5 years, you're getting this, this, and this, and this," and then everyone's like, "Wah!" or they're like, "Oh," but I guess Marvel know people are going to love it anyway. Whereas GW like, well, if we tell them that this is all we're going to do, what are they going to get excited about in a couple of years' time? I don't know. Maybe that's the argument. Interesting. Michael says, it does feel like MESBG is on an upward curve right now, though. I played 2 returnees at a tournament last weekend, so we may get refreshed warriors if that trend continues. Yeah, that's a good point. Old school Chris C says, I am Chris Cooper. One thing I'd like to see is captains with different loadout options. We saw Aemir with the option for throwing spear, and he had an armored horse, didn't he? Why not have other options like this for more generic guys? Yeah, even generic captains and I think that could be the next thing rather than troops. It could be something like plastic Minas Tirith captain or standard bearer guys. Like that would be a kind of nice middle ground. Maybe this new Elrond guy that comes with Elrond, the banner dude, this one. Maybe that's an indication that they are interested in doing that sort of thing. Interesting. There we go. Mr. SRA says, I think they could release a set of 6 Royal Guard / Minas Tirith High Elves Numenorians like they have with the Black Dragons of Dol Amroth. That would solve new base unit issues and give more variety. I would really, really not like that personally. I like that they've done it with Black Dragons and Knights of Dol Amroth because they're unique troops. They're like the specialists. Royal Guard, maybe with Fountain Court or something like that. But High Elves and Numenorians, I just want them to be cheap plastic so you can get loads of them. But I don't know. What do you think?
I agree 100% with you. Although, rather than cheap plastic, I'd rather prefer more expensive plastic, I suppose.
Yeah, decent plastic. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Top Table Gaming says he's going to head out and settle for B-Sime in a bit. Yeah, B-Sime, Top Table Steve is over on Battle Streams in Middle-earth at 8:30. I'll be wrapping up just around there. There might be a bit of an overlap, but they're usually late anyway, so we'll carry on for a bit longer. Adam McGuire says, made to order absolutely works on me. I end up buying minis I don't even want. Yeah, I think we're all the same there. I've definitely bought stuff that's still sat there. I've got a Goblin King throwing a Goblin for no reason, because I'm not even interested in the Goblin King army. But anyway, Old School Chris says it's not common that made to order stuff is stuff that people need. It's often things like alternate or classic sculpts. Yeah, I think that that's a good point. It's the stuff that's being scalped on the internet that I like. The fact that it's somebody really, really wants that halberd with a banner and the horn. And it was selling for 125 quid on the internet at one point. And then they released it on made to order and it dropped the price down to like 35 quid, which is great. That's what I like about made to orders. But you're right. They could release Gollum's fish as a model and I'd buy it. Joe Gore says, I think those battle boxes are a great way to bring people in. It is a shame there aren't some troop updates. Those Warg Riders definitely need a do-over. Yeah, the Warg Riders aren't great. Especially the fact that none of them have throwing spears. That really gets on my nerves. They've got like war spears or pikes or like lances, but they don't have throwing spears. So I don't get that. They're holding a spear the wrong way to throw it anyway. Old School Chris says, I'd rather see everything with a profile printed first before we get new sculpts of already existing models. So Justice for Beachbone. Yeah, Justice for Beachbone. I'd like that. And there's a lot of other things. Beachbone. There's the signal tower, as Mr. SRA says. There's the catapult troll from Gundabad as well. That would be really cool. I think they're at like the King's Guard, the Rivendell King's Guard. That would be a nice way of doing new sort of high elves without them being too kind of different. But yeah, anyway, there we go. So that's some of the thoughts there. Luke, I really appreciate you coming in. I mentioned I'm going to wrap up in the next sort of 5 minutes. So I like that I saw this sort of comment on the interwebs on the Miniatures Rock page. I'm really glad you agreed to come on tonight because having some dissenting opinion is always good. And I think it's always nicer to hear it in person rather than the kind of sometimes people get into quite argumentative states on Facebook groups. So it's nice that it comes across a lot more reasonable in person.
They do. Sometimes people feel attacked, don't they? Yeah. But no, it's only because I love the hobby and I want it to continue and be strong. I just love the Lord of the Rings. I love the miniatures range, but I think that certain things could do with a little bit more love than other things.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we're all entitled to think, you know, that GW are doing it wrong. Like if you know, as you say, you want more people playing the game. You want to play the game more, and you just, I guess it's just a matter of difference of how you think they should be doing it and how you would do it or thereabouts yourself. So I think that's completely fair.
That's it. And the problem is if we all go down the 3D printing route, you're not going to be allowed to play in Games Workshop stores. And a lot of local hobby shops don't like that sort of stuff either.
Yeah, because again, they make an awful lot of their money from something like selling the selling the game. So
yeah, and the thing is, I think it would be a shame if more people sort of stopped going out and started playing on their kitchen tabletop. As much as I love playing on my kitchen tabletop, it's nice to go out and get some social activity as well.
Yeah, agreed. And have a big crew. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, Luke. Thanks very much for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, dude. It's been great.
No problem. Thanks very much for joining in. I'll beat you out now. All right, he's off. He's off. We don't agree with him. No, it's not true. But I really appreciate Luke coming on because, as I say, I saw a comment on the group, one of the groups earlier, and it was causing a lot of consternation among some people and a lot of agreement as well. So I just think it's great to add people you don't necessarily agree with to a stream. And as it turns out, Luke is very reasonable, as most people are. It's just maybe not always in the comment section when being attacked so vociferously by crazy people. So we haven't got a lot of time before we're done. I've just turned my fan off because I've got something exciting for patrons. I was going to do a sort of special patron thing, but decided to do it as part of this because I know a fair few patrons are watching actually. But if you're not a patron, basically it's a support club where you can support the stuff I do, and you get toys. So you get measuring sticks like this one, Entmoot 6-inch measuring stick, and 1 inch, and 3 inches, and 2 inches. Very clever. Oh no, I've just rolled them all everywhere. There's loads of 6s over there. We've got some Boo-Ra Run dice themed around Entmoot, of course, and there's the tree one somewhere. I think they're all over there in the distance. In fact, they're right behind me. Look at them. So there's some Entmoot logos, and everyone who becomes a patron gets one of those each time, but they don't all get a Forge World kit. So I splash out. It's not like a freebie from Games Workshop or anything, by the way. I appreciate the support, so I spend some of the money that you guys contribute every month towards things like streaming equipment and paying for the subscription to StreamYard, which is up in the corner there, and hosting the podcast, Entmoot podcast, and I spend it on you guys. So that's what we're going to do. I promised B Awnings I'll do another stream very soon because or another prize draw very soon because there's more stuff. I might do a Glorfindel. That might be splashing out a bit, but you deserve it, and I think no one really wants the Lothlorien guy, do they? Maybe they do. We'll see. We'll put a poll in the patron Facebook group. Anyway, if you want to be a patron, join below because like the person that I have now pulled out of the tin, I've put it here. Okay. Oh, and by the way, this tin, Faz's Quality Street. This is won at a recent tournament, whimsical one-day tournament. It was in the podcast, Entmoot podcast recently, and essentially I had the best Faramir, so I got Quality Street. So it's Faramir's Quality Street, and look, he showed his Quality Street. That was the whole gag. It was very good, and it came with a card. Congratulations, and it said, "You took the chance, sir, and showed your quality, the very highest." Amazing, great tin. Here we go. Glorfindel would be a great fab prize, says Julian Hammond. You're a patron. Of course you want that. Yeah, of course. I think I'll put it in. I've said it now. I can't go back. Right, anyway, here we go. The winner is of a pack of 3 Bay Awnings from Forge World. It's on this bit of paper. It is Andrew Cuthbert. I'm holding that the wrong way around. There we go. Andrew Cuthbert. There it is. Well done, Andrew. Congratulations. I will send you messages, or I think I've probably got your address somewhere. In fact, I'll check where you are now. But anyway, that's great. Well done, Andrew Cuthbert. As I mentioned to Julian, we'll get a Glorfindel delivered. If it's coming very soon, as is hinted at, I believe in a Warhammer community article that came up while I was on the stream, then by God, am I going to get it soon? I'll I'll very quickly go down to Forge World at some point this week. I might even be able to get a stream done, sort of a quick sort of live stream for patrons up before Ardacon. And Ardacon, there's going to be 2 episodes at least podcasting from Ardacon. It's going to be great. So looking forward to that. Ardacon, if you don't know, is a big tournament up in Manchester where hundreds of people go. It's the biggest MESBG tournament in the world, or certainly has been in the past. Right. Thank you very much. A quick just summary of all the people here. Adam says, great discussion, guys. I agree. Thank you to Luke again for that. Glorfindel would be a great prize, says Julian. Yeah. Adam says, congrats you, Andrew. Old school Chrissy, you might have had the best Faramir. You might have had the best Faz, but did you have the best hat? No, I did not. Little Ruth had the best hat. She had an outstanding array of hats on her head. There was a prize for hats as well. It's called the Whimsical One there for a reason. It was fantastic. Well done to Andrew, says Julian Hammond. Right, that's me done for the night. Now, if you want more Middle-earth strategy battle game content, I can highly recommend my friends and, well, actually, I'm a supporter of theirs, over on Battle Streams in Middle-earth. They're doing an epic few-hour-long stream. They'll be reacting to all the same stuff I've been reacting to. They'll be chatting, they'll be drinking, they'll be eating chocolates. So it'll be great. Always a great watch on Battle Streams in Middle-earth. Keep that hype going. Paint up your new stuff, ready to make room for a new Glorfindel and a new whatever you fancy. Right, thanks very much for watching again. I'll be back at some point in the not too distant future with some streams all about the Rings of Power. But in the meantime, check out Ent Podcast and the videos right here on Battle Streams in Middle-earth. Thanks very much.